welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something many find pretty daunting: job interviews. But here's a thought. Maybe that nervousness isn't just a hurdle. Maybe it's actually a sign that you care, and interviews are this unique chance for, practice and really focused preparation.
That's exactly right. We've looked at a ton of expert takes and, well, real-world results to go beyond just the basic research the company advice. Our mission here is really to equip you with practical tools, maybe shift your mindset a bit so you walk in feeling genuinely confident, ready to make a connection.
Okay, so as we went through all this material, one thing really jumped out: a super common mistake candidates make. What is that?
It's the generic answer. Our analysis shows interviewers scan resumes fast, like under 30 seconds for keywords. But then they spend most of their time, maybe 70%, listening for how your answers hit their specific needs. Generic stuff, it just doesn't stick. It doesn't solve their problem.
Right. So it's not enough to know your own background. You have to connect into them. So if they ask that classic question, why should we hire you? How do you make that answer, really specific and impactful?
Yeah, you definitely don't just list skills. A really strong answer, based on what we've seen, sounds more like this. Well, I believe I bring a unique mix of creativity and analytical thinking. For example, in my last role, I boosted our social media engagement by 60% using targeted content strategies. I'm confident I can bring that same kind of energy and results to your brand. See how that works. It highlights a skill, gives a concrete number, a real example, and then ties it straight back to their company, their brand. Shows you've done your homework.
That makes sense. That tailoring is crucial. But what about those questions that always come up? The ones like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? They seem simple, but can really trip people up.
Oh, definitely. For strengths, keep it relevant and, well, concise. Something like, one of my key strengths is time management. I consistently hit deadlines without sacrificing quality. Clear and to the point. For weaknesses, please avoid saying I work too hard or I'm a perfectionist. Interviewers see right through that. It sounds disingenuous. Honesty is better, but pair it immediately with growth. Like, I used to find public speaking quite challenging, but I've actually been taking communication courses and actively volunteering to lead team meetings. It's definitely getting better.
Showing that self-awareness and the steps you're taking, that's what's impressive. That's what they want to see.
I like that. Showing the journey, not just the end point. Okay, that leads nicely into questions designed to test problem solving. Like, tell me about a time you faced a challenge. How do you nail that? Yeah, this is your chance to tell a story, but a structured one. A great example we found was, in a previous project, we suddenly fell behind schedule because a key vendor had a delay. So I researched and proposed an alternative supplier, worked to get quick approvals from management, and we managed to finish the project only 2 days late instead of the projected 2 weeks. Crucially, it saved the relationship with the client. That structure, that's basically the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. It works because it forces you to explain your specific action and the tangible outcome. The result part, especially with numbers or impact, is what makes it stick.
Something else that came up again and again in our sources, and it's easy to forget, it's just your tone of voice.
Yeah.
You can have brilliant answers, but if you sound bored or maybe robotic, it just undermines everything. Speaking clearly, with some energy, not rushing, it matters.
It really does. And for non-native English speakers, don't get bogged down trying to use super complex words. Seriously, focus on speaking clearly and, at a comfortable pace. Confidence and clarity beat complicated vocabulary any day. And with online interviews being so normal now, the basics are key. Check your internet, find a quiet spot, good lighting, test your mic, test your camera. Just do it beforehand. And really try not to read from a script. It sounds so stiff. Bullet points, fine, but practice delivering it naturally.
Okay, let's rapid fire some bonus tips. Quick wins. Smile. Even on the phone, they can kind of hear it. Bring an extra copy of your resume. Always. Turn off your phone notifications seriously. Take notes. It shows engagement. And try to use the interviewer's name occasionally.
Good ones. And salary. Be ready for that. Do your research on market value for the role and your experience level. You could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm looking for a range around X to Y. Or, I believe a fair range would be. Oh, and here's a powerful final tip. Record yourself practicing. Use your phone. You'll notice little things, filler words, fidgeting, maybe vocal habits you had no idea about. It's great for self-correction.
So thinking about the mindset shift you mentioned earlier, it's less like an exam, right? More like a conversation, a two-way street to see if it's a good fit for both sides.
Exactly. And look, if you don't get the job, It's not the end of the world. See it as data. Learn from it, tweak your approach, and go again. Every single interview makes you better prepared for the next one. Which leads to a final thought, maybe something to mull over. What if you stopped seeing the interview as just a test you need to pass and started seeing it more like a collaborative puzzle? You and the interviewer figuring out if your unique pieces fit their needs. How might that change how you prepare and present yourself?
Practice, prep, and believing in the value you bring. That really can change the whole game. You've got this.
Thanks for watching. If you like this podcast, give it a like, share, and subscribe.